Hello dear students, welcome you back for lecture number 6 on the topic system of particles and rotational motion. So in today's class we are going to study a concept which is known as radius of gyration, which is denoted by capital letter K. So before understanding what is the radius of gyration, I want you to write the definition. So later I'll explain the things. Okay. So radius of gyration, you can write along with me. It is short form, you can write ROG, radius of gyration of a body about an axis of rotation is the perpendicular distance from axis of rotation to a point P at which entire mass of the system is assumed to be concentrated so that its moment of inertia remains same, or you can write constant. Okay, so quite a lengthy definition but very easy to understand. Okay, so what exactly is radius of gyration? Radius of gyration of a body about an axis of rotation is a perpendicular distance from axis of rotation to a point at which the entire mass of the system is assumed to be concentrated so that its moment of inertia remains constant. Have you understood something? No. Okay, to make you understand only I am making this video. Okay, so don't worry. So write certain terms related to this, then later I'll explain. Okay, now this radius of gyration is denoted by capital letter K. Now how you represent it? I equals to mk square, where I is moment of inertia, m is mass of the system, and this k is a constant. That constant is known as radius of gyration. Now can I write k from this? K will be what? Under root of I by m. Is it not? So k can be written as under root I by m. Can I get its SI unit? Its SI unit is meters. Okay, how do you understood meter? This I is moment of inertia, and how you calculate moment of inertia? Kilogram meter square, mr square, right? And this is mass. Mass is kilogram. So kilogram gets cancelled, and square root of under root will be what? This. Okay, have you understood this? Okay. So its SI unit is meters. So can you write it dimensional formula? M0, L1 and T0. Okay, now what exactly is radius of gyration? I'll explain you. Okay, first write this definition. Okay, you can pause the video and write the definition. Please understand, it's something related perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation to a point at which the entire mass of the system is assumed to be concentrated. Now this is something related to your moment of inertia only. Okay, now shall I erase? Fine. So have you copied the definition? Now let us try to understand what exactly is radius of gyration and how important it is to us. Now we'll go as per the definition. Before going to the definition, just understand this analogy. Suppose I have a random body, okay, and this body has mass m. Okay, now since it's a rotational motion, you know that every part it should have one fixed axis. So assume this is my fixed axis of rotation, it is x, and the body is rotating about this axis anti-clockwise. Now this body, a random body, has mass m, but you know that when a body rotates, it will travel with different velocity, with different acceleration, and their motion also will be different. Okay, now suppose if I take a particle here at this point m1, which is at distance r1. Suppose if I take one more particle at which has mass m2 and which is at distance r2, position vector. Suppose if I take one more particle m3, distance r3, one more particle m4 which is at distance This is my particle M4, which is at distance R4. Now, since it is a continuous body, it's not a uniform body. Okay. Now, if I want to calculate its moment of inertia, how do you calculate moment of inertia? I had told you in the previous class only. Moment of inertia is summation of I equals to 1 up to n mi ri square. Is it not? So, how do you calculate this? You simply do m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus so on up to mn rn square. Used to do that. Okay. Now, using this analogy, I am going to put the definition radius of gyration to this. So what exactly is radius of gyration? Radius of gyration is the perpendicular distance from an axis of rotation to a point P at which entire mass of the system is assumed to be concentrated. Center of mass. Got it? Are you understanding? So see here, this is my axis of rotation, and for this axis of rotation, I'll give this only Ix. Okay, it is rotating about this x-axis. The moment of inertia is the perpendicular distance. Is it not a perpendicular distance making an angle 90 degree? Perpendicular distance about an axis of rotation at a point P where the entire mass is assumed to be concentrated. Can you see I have written mass along with COM. COM indicates center of mass. Okay, so this is called this distance from point P to the axis of rotation. That distance, that perpendicular distance is called as radius of gyration. So how radius of gyration is different from moment of inertia? You might be wondering, sir, is it same like a moment of inertia? What is moment of inertia? It is mr square. Mass is here, this distance is r, and when you do mr square, I get moment of inertia. Then why instead of r you have written k? One thing I have twisted here is these were all individual masses. Now, for an instant, you have to imagine I am taking all the masses, I am concentrating them at very minute point, and I am just dumping them here. Are you understanding? So the entire mass is being concentrated at this point P. So let us assume that whatever mass is there of this body due to individual particles is the same mass which is concentrated at this point P, which is at center of mass. Are you understanding? Center of mass. Got it? So this way we calculate I equals to m k square, and you can write the value of k as root of I by m. Are you understanding? Now remember, our radius of gyration depends upon the shape and size of the body, and also it depends upon the axis of rotation. Now, still you might be confused how this radius of gyration is different from moment of inertia. Now here let me give a simple example. Suppose, what is moment of inertia? Like suppose this is a marker, right, and there is one axis along to this, and if you want to calculate moment of inertia, so what do? Mr square this side and mr square this side. So moment of inertia, you have understood how far is the particle and how much mass is added by that particle from that axis of rotation. That is moment of inertia. Is it not? Moment of inertia, all of you know, it is I equals to mr square. Is it not? So moment of inertia depends upon from that axis where is the particle, r. So if it is very far, then moment of inertia will be more, and if the particle has more mass, the moment of inertia will be more. Yes or no? Are you understanding? You tell me now. Same marker I am aligning this way, and the axis of rotation is from this along this. Are you understanding? Two example. First case, the axis of rotation is this way. Mass is distributed mr square this side, mr square this side. We have calculated moment of inertia. Now what I do? I align this marker along with the axis of rotation. So in this case, moment of inertia will be greater or smaller compared to the first case. Definitely it will be smaller. Why? Because the r has reduced. Initially the r was this much. Now when I align them, the r has become less. So when r has become less, definitely moment of inertia also become less. Got it? No doubt mass is contributing. Mass, whatever it was contributing in this position, same mass is contributing this position. But since the r has changed, this value, initially what you did, your marker was this way. This was the axis of rotation. I'll take little bit longer. First case. Now in second case, what I do? I align the marker in this position. So in this case, this r was more from the axis of rotation, and in second case, this r is less. So in first case, moment of inertia will be greater. In second case, moment of inertia will be less. Got it? Now, what if I bring you another marker? Okay. Two identical marker, but I know that this marker is heavier in size. Imagine this marker is made up of iron. Okay. Now, got it? Now this marker is made up of iron, which is heavier in size. So definitely this will have more moment of inertia. Are you understanding? This will have more moment of inertia compared to this. But so randomly any marker is given to you, and I just tell them that the moment of inertia of this is more. Moment of inertia of this marker is greater. It is on the greater side. Now, on what basis you are telling the moment of inertia of this marker is greater? On what basis? There are either two cases. Either the mass will be more or r will be more. So sometimes moment of inertia is confusing. You cannot tell 100% ki on what basis moment of inertia is large or big, because there are two things which are totally unknown, either the mass or either the r. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? But what radius of gyration does you? Radius of gyration will make things simpler for you. Rather complicating yourself from moment of inertia, if you feel moment of inertia is complicated thing, straight away go to the radius of gyration, because radius of gyration will tell you about the arrangement of the particle. The main application of this radius of gyration is the orientation of the particle. The orientation of the particle. Remember this. The main application of the radius of gyration is just by looking at the orientation of the particle. You were nowhere concerned about the mass. Just look at the orientation of the particles and you will come to know what is the radius of gyration. And once you know radius of gyration, easily you can calculate I also. Now, understand that I have brought this marker and one more. This is pen. This is a heavier pen. Okay. Now, both have same size, same shape. But this is heavier and this is a lighter marker. This red one is heavier pen and this is lighter pen. Come on, tell me who has more moment of inertia? Definitely this. But what about radius of gyration? Marker, this pen has more radius of gyration or this? I will tell you the radius of gyration of both the pen or marker is almost same, because the distance is same. Radius of gyration just depends upon the distance, perpendicular distance. If you look, they are almost of same size. I know the pen is little bit on the smaller size, but imagine, or I'll take a marker only, this marker. Both are of same size. Okay, just for your convenience, imagine this marker is made up of iron or very heavy material. Moment of inertia of this marker is more, moment of inertia of this marker is less, but radius of gyration of both the marker is same. Why? Because the distance, if I take the perpendicular axis from the center of mass, if I take at center of mass, the distance is same. So I am just telling radius of gyration on the basis of the orientation of the particle. So if the particle is very far from the axis of rotation, it is understood that radius of gyration is more. If the particle is very close, if particle is very close to the axis of rotation, then radius of gyration will be less. So only on looking at the orientation of the particle, you have to just see where is the particle. You have to just measure the distance from the axis of rotation. If you are measuring a longer distance, it is understood that radius of gyration is more. If it is shorter distance, radius of gyration will be less. Now you might ask one question, sir, then mass is nothing to do with the radius of gyration. Mass will definitely add something to the moment of inertia, right? But please understand, this K value is unaffected by the mass. This K value, whatever radius of gyration what we are having, K is unaffected by the mass, because if you take a heavier marker which has more mass, yes or no, so the mass is like 3 times the mass of your lighter marker, so its moment of inertia also will increase 3 times, yes or no, because all of you know I is equal to mr square. So if you take heavier marker made up of iron or steel or aluminium, its mass increases and moment of inertia also increases. So if mass increases by 3 times, just one example, if mass increases by 3 times, definitely moment of inertia will also increase by 3 times. If it is increasing by 4 times, definitely I also will increase by 4 times. So in this case, this 3 3 or maybe 4 4 or 6 6, whatever number you take, they are getting cancelled. So this K value is not depending upon mass, but it is depending just on this perpendicular distance. What I am doing, I am taking a complex system, I am concentrating entire mass at one particular point P, placing somewhere perpendicular to the axis of rotation, measuring that distance will give me radius of gyration. Sorry. So now we have understood this radius of gyration does not depends upon mass, but definitely depends on shape and size. If you increase or decrease the shape or size, definitely R value will change, and when R value will change, then K will change, yes or no, and it depends upon definitely on the axis of rotation. Have you understood? So this is all about radius of gyration. Got it? Okay. Have you understood how it is different from moment of inertia and why it is simpler than moment of inertia? You can easily calculate K equals to I by M. Okay, you can easily calculate. So that this value, please understand. Okay, now this K value is approximate value. Okay, this K value you are adjusting this value. On what basis? Whatever moment of inertia was there of this body, same should be moment of inertia of this body. For what value of K? Suppose if I measure moment of inertia of all the individual particles, suppose I get it as 10 kilogram meter square moment of inertia of this original body. Okay, this is my original body. I measure moment of inertia of this original body as 10 kilogram meter square. Okay, now what I do is I am taking that body, all the particles, concentrating at one common point. Now it's not like that ki you can take this particle and dump it anyway. First thing, you have to take all the particles, concentrate them at common point. Okay, now you have to adjust this point according to this moment of inertia value. You cannot just keep this point P here or here or here anywhere. You have to adjust this distance, this perpendicular distance from P in such a way that the last definition you remember, so that the moment of inertia remains constant. So this K value should be adjusted in such a way that the moment of inertia of original body should be same as the moment of inertia of this concentrated body. Are you understanding? So K value is adjusted as per looking concentration into moment of inertia. Have you understood? Okay, got it? So just remember, it's SI unit is meter measured in how you measure I by M. So again, it's a constant value. It's an independent. It does not depend. It just depends upon the shape and size and depends upon the axis of rotation. Because as I increases, M will also increase. So both things are increasing simultaneously. The value of K will remain unaffected. So this K value have you understood? Okay. So this is all about radius of gyration. Some of the in videos or in your colleges also, some staff may tell it as radius of gyration also. Okay, so actually it's radius of gyration, but never mind if somebody says radius of gyration. Okay, have you understood? Okay, in the next class we are going to study the kinetic, we are going to first study a pure rolling, and then we are going to study kinetic energy of the rolling body. Okay, so thank you. I hope you have understood. We'll stop it here.